Welcome to another episode of Easy Sport. And today I'm joined by Chelsea's finest, Onke, Sihlen, Waskuchi Bafwetu.
Nandi.
Monday survived. Siapusha, short week. My son's birthday is coming up this Wednesday. So everything is good, man.
That's dope, man.
This guy turning 6.
Yeah.
Man,
he's turning 6 just yesterday.
Yeah.
He's not gonna live that down. I have a friend whose birthday is Women's Day. We remind him all the time.
Yeah, I know it's easy. I know
I get collab. He just knows the day that he was born, it's a public holiday. That's all he cares about.
Which is dope. So, guys, I know we have a lot to discuss, but I just wanted us to start off with the topics that we can clear quickly. So, the first one, Banyana out of the World Cup. We can't just leave. We cannot discuss this. I'm not too sure who woke up at 4. I didn't wake up.
Patriotism over everything.
But yeah, Sitle, since when we're dog, like how was your feel of the game? Because I only watched the extended highlights.
First half basically. First half we were there. We were amongst. There were instances where you could see a goal. And then Bashai, that goal that deflated us. Second half, basically going the races. Second half. And then Israel is the one thing, and I'm not gonna question her, but as a fan, you always have question marks. It's the 80th minute. We don't have anything to lose. We two goals down. An attacking side. What's the worst that can happen? You can take a 4-0 L, but Uzani to score a goal. But she didn't. Sorry. She decided to make substitutions. I think it was 86, if not 87th minute, and there was quite a few things. And so, just speaking on number substitutions, there was in the first half there was a player who got injured. I can't remember who the player was, and they took 5 to 10 minutes to make that substitution. So for 5 to 10, close to 10 minutes, we were playing one lady short. And I didn't understand why. I don't know, Onke, if you saw that.
No, I did. I also saw the highlights. In fact, I watched the last 10 minutes because it was after I'd woken up. So I caught that part in the game. And then, obviously, as you're watching, they keep showing how the goals were scored. The second goal was the worst of the worst. But, I did speak about the goalkeeper. You guys know my feelings around that. You guys know my feelings around that. So that was a mistake. But I from what's being shared on social media, it seems as though it was a political decision to sit Damini and play that chick. So problems.
So sorry. Okay. So I read that article. I can't remember where I saw it. Where as the source of the punishment, because she's the one who was very vocal. The decision was taken to go right ahead and bench her, and then the minute that angered me. But I think we've made our points, so we've made our views very clear when it comes to what's going on in SAFA. And I wonder if that is true. We'll never know the truth, okay? Until Ugel goes right ahead and says, well, it is what it is. This is a conversation we had with the coach. But if that is true, that's disgusting. That is disgusting, to be honest.
100%. Like for SAFA to even involve themselves in
that conversation, by discuss amongst themselves. We will teach her. This is not about her.
This
is about the country, and this is about Imali that you guys have stolen.
And you watch the Sweden game, versus the USA, and you see the game the goalkeeper had for Sweden. Sweden was supposed to lose that game by a tennis score.
Yeah,
and the keeper did everything to make sure. And those are the moments in knockout competitions where you need a goalkeeper of a higher quality. Lamin is not conceding that goal, that second goal. I understand.
Yeah.
Even the first goal is weak, but fine. Let's say I consider it. But the second goal I concede, meaning we keep momentum going throughout the game. Even though it seemed lethargic, but 2-0 down and 1-0 down with the last 10 minutes is totally different psychologically. And you can look at the Arsenal game yesterday as an example. Say, psychologically, when you're 1-0 down, you know all I need is one goal.
100%.
All I need is one goal. One goal to change the complexion of this game. Just one chance. I change the complexion of this game. Whereas when you're 2-0 down, that's why they call it a 2-0 cushion usually. Because you have some leeway. You can make a mistake as a defense. I understand. Look bigger. But you have some leeway to make mistakes. Whereas the mistake that she made in giving them the second goal basically killed the game off for us.
No, it did.
And
it did.
That's very unfortunate, that it was a political decision that led us to that point. Very, very unfortunate.
No, and the thing is, I think also for Desiree, she needs to answer a few questions. We could see, was it a political decision, and why is she taking my instructions and not putting her best 11?
100%.
To protect her job.
No, man. No.
Mvana, these are mafias that we are talking about.
Yes, so he's never dealt with the mafia. That's the reason why I had to know.
We don't know what type of ultimatum Desiree was given to play Swart. We don't know. All we know is that all of a sudden Dlamini was no longer the goalkeeper. Swart became the goalkeeper, and we were weak for it. We didn't become stronger or better. We were weak as a result of it. So
coach.
Yes. During the tournament.
I think let me reserve my comments going forward. But I'm proud of these girls. They made it past the group stage. I think it's now the momentum falls onto the administrative part of female football. Something needs to happen. I think these girls have shown Italian corner to make it through group stages where Brazil, Germany got knocked out. They didn't even pass the group stages. That in itself speaks volumes with the quality of players that we have. I'm just hoping, Wuti, we do the right thing by women football, because there was a point where Sasol was sponsoring women's football, and it was on the up. It was properly on the up. So I do think reserve the administration comment. I think also companies need to come to the sorry, cheese. But companies also need to come up thingy, and this is huge. I mean, I can't remember who said it. If they had the time, they'll go to the airport to welcome these girls so that they can understand the impact that they're having on the female sport landscape in Africa. But yeah, mightily proud of them. If I must say, I guess.
Yeah. So secure coach and better structure say football in South Africa is different to structures in other countries where ISAFA is supposed to be telling PSL what to do, but the PSL are colors the table. not speaking. They want to do things their own way. Well, so the owners of women's football needs to be led by the clubs individually. The same way Sundowns has taken and spent money for develop a football team is what all those guys need to do. If our football clubs and all these guys are gonna be waiting for the suffer, they'll be waiting for years for that to happen. Because those guys, we've spoken about it. Because I want money stuff. So as soon as we told imali from someone who's going to fund something, they're looking after their pockets first. So isn't this doing a women's football? It isn't just doing a men's football. If men's football was reliant on itself, we'll also now be in control. Abesibukela imihlolo ngabe manimele badlale ama-stadiums asemabhuqwini ama-rented pitches so it's a lot of things that SAFA doesn't do right, and it affects our football as a whole in general.
True, very true.
Yeah, no, 100%. Perfect.
And
so,
I think the PSL is in a position where they can subsidize a league. What they can do what has been done in England, where they'll say the top 8 grossing teams, for example, should have women's teams. Then you create it from it doesn't have to be all 16, but we know the main fixtures of the PSLs are every season. Not the relegation types, but the teams that are constant features in the PSL. Even if it's 4 teams, 4 teams is enough of a database for female football to create a tournament, to create a small league, to create some type of competitive environment around women's football, so that you can attract money, interest, and also investment opportunities for growth in these individual players. Like we spoke about last week, and look at what that chick from Italy was saying, Uguti. The fact that they don't have a professional league, and we do. We have all the resources available to us. If they had the same resources, then they would be further. They'd be in the finals of the tournament. So that is how close we are with just talent and 9-to-5 hard work type of people. If these people professionalize the league, bakwazi ukuthi badrop 9-to-5 wabo, knowing very well ukuthi I've got a paycheck that is competitive to what I can do professionally in my own career. Then that's a place to start.
Yeah, and listen, and it's no disrespect. What I'm about to say. But I want to certainly idea with your top 8 grossing teams have a women's side. You have it where they do. I don't know why curtain raisers we don't have anymore. Where if it's over like a proper game, you have them play as a curtain raiser, which is basically they will play before the real. So this is
South Africa, la baba. One bang in the stadium, select 10 minutes. One first stadium, select 10 minutes for a game.
Yeah,
so we are talking with the curtain raiser for that. It be so demeaning. I understand. I fully understand, because what they've been doing, curtain raisers has been galling down, and no one watches Zendron. Those guys don't even get to the game early enough to watch them. And for me, it has to be the teams. Okay, it has to be the teams that are pulling for this to happen. If it's only important about this, we do it because there's a financial reward to broadcasting the PSL and all these games. But for them, if they're not gonna realize that there's a financial gain in broadcasting women's football, they're not gonna do it because I'm a business now at the end of the day.
It's just saying that the Ubagai platform. That's all that I think these ladies deserve. Just give them a platform and pay them. I see, like, okay, I don't have a problem with tata a bit of the money, but don't take all of it.
No, dog. Like, it is what it is, and it's gonna be interesting the coming weeks. I mean, when the ladies land,
I think just speaking on the league and the attendance. I watched the Super Sport game. Jeez, like it's like we'd gone back to COVID times. You could hear the coaches. You could hear the coaches screaming instructions.
Yeah.
No.
But I mean, when we have your bully team, and a shot on target. Pirates are going to shot on target. So when I'm like, isn't this John this? It's so devastating, isn't this why Isafa? Like they don't even try as much as they can to get it. I mean, bakupula matigiti my game match. It's no longer 40 rand. Minimum so 50. If it's extra strong, so we clip, I'm sure extra strong. So and extra strong more as yes, if you're coming. Because you're going to extra strong. So long extra strong my clip.
Yeah.
So again, Pirates was really or impintshe thuke onke ulwazi ihlale ikhuluma ngentwana yakho lepasa namanje samele lepasa 8 years since he's made his debut with PSL sisamele lepasa ukuthi ayenze something for the Pirates. He was loaned out, he came back and he picked up exactly from where he left off before he left the club. So sibukela izolo mfethu sibukela uMakaringe coach uthi vele yabuyela back to being a plumber. Sidlalisela ibhola besidlala had no direction. We're going backwards and sideways. To me, I think that the only positive I saw yesterday was the two guys who came, the two young guys who came in the second half. Tladisa, for me, definitely changed the game when he came on.
Yeah.
How is? I mean, because I watched the game. Monar, what's your view?
Doesn't like
Monar. I try in face. Like we can't. Like I mean, there's no way. There's no way. Today we still want to be playing with Monar. Yes, our team out or something, but get us someone different fit in midfield. Let's try. Monar por like move. They are sideways. We are cap. Monaro was a good player, yes, but now he just doesn't have that mobility anymore to do that. And coach for him, coach to see Monaro as his best number 6 in the team. So I mean Manning is wrong in Pirates, Joe. I mean Uhoto, how does Uhoto start and finish the game, dog, at left back? I stay Nicks.
Like he gives us jack shit.
Your captain's on the bench. Umarco's on the bench, but no coach as well. But I'm just so clueless. Umasangani was not doing anything the whole game, but he almost finished the game. Umasangani, I thought Ndlondlo was going to be different because he looked more direct at other clubs. Pirates ibhola lakhe ayi-one like ibhola lakhe engalitholisisi kuphela and then Saleng also struggled to get himself into the game but for me biggest disappointment was Ulipasa. I didn't think he joined in or maybe came a bit deep man Ulipasa, but the Tinian Makaringe was a disaster to be honest.
I think they were not in sync. They were not in sync. I can count maybe like 3 instances where Ulepasa with channel and Ulepasa in the boxing in the cross. I think so. There isn't that sync.
Positionally, La Pasa isn't good. So I also have a problem with him because why afunukana channel as kitchen. It's basic things like that. Run the channel if I was kitchen. Try to isolate them as center back so guys can try to find you and link up. You have 3 midfielders. We have guys who are coming in from behind you. Just game player needs to be a link man if he's not going to be banging in goals. He's not going to outrun a defender or pass fun.
Yeah,
that's not his thing.
But let's also, gents. Sorry, gents. Let's also give praise to Stellenbosch. Stellenbosch had a game plan. They stuck to their game plan. Abonama counter attacks they should have gotten more than the one goal because those boys are quick.
But I feel like PSL, PSL teams, when they play the big clubs, they are prepared to play that way.
Yeah.
Running with the ball, I understand that, sprints and everything. That's why a lot of these PSL teams have express pace all the time. And then our teams buy these runners because I need to buy a shy. I was hot, I must like a spawner. So we end up buying them, thinking they are going to offer the same thing, but you're putting this player who's used to being a free runner against a team that is sitting, where he now needs to create in small spaces. Okay, create in small spaces. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge, and big clubs don't know how to profile players for their systems. Ulipas, for example, is a
especially Amatrapos.
Yeah. Our clubs vele abakwazi. Sundowns is an exception. I don't count Sundowns. Sundowns is at the upper echelon of our football. Everyone else,
Sundowns, they can afford to, in a season, 4 players. Out of the 4 players of our team, 1 can be a star, the 3 can be a flop, and then life goes on.
Yeah.
And that's the upper hand. That's the upper hand the Sundowns has.
That's also because Sundowns uses a lot of the young players as well. Who have been taught, pushed through system yabo ukuthi sidlala kanje la ekhaya ibhola sidlala so. You watch Pirates, you watch Chiefs izolo, depressing game, depressing game. I like the combination we have in the middle now with Umat Nale out there, Ebuya Orkan Tubani, Castillo.
Yeah, Castillo.
Yeah,
I like that combination. That combination is great. We don't have anyone for them. Bambi. Viro. Angazi kwenzakalani.
Ubhile eminyama kanti. Ubhile eminyama. Ubhile eminyama.
Sayile angazi kwenzakalani. Kaizer Chiefs is its own worst enemy. Last season, we had Uplom Nomad, ne? Midfield wasn't really a bad thing or bad part of the team. It was the front. The front was never addressed. Kale season last season without a striker. Satem Caleb season say Kalile, ne? Caleb yafika misses goals for no one's business. Ukorama penalty pair.
Yeah, Korama penalty.
Korama penalty pair. Tela.
Lo muntu ngamkompela noHaaland baba last season. So angazi ukukhuluma This hater. Yes. All I'm saying is that it was Osimhen, it was Haaland, it was Piliminyama for Jesus. Okay, in my life.
Let's talk about the Chiefs. The Chiefs was they stank the place up. So
wait, onke manje umshiya kanjani? Wonke ngibonga usabala uMartin no problem. Umshiya kanjani uJaman? Usithebe.
No, usithebe kahle phansi angithi.
Nibathi. Usithebe nami shumi nozabe ilishumi.
Kahle phansi usithebe lapha yana. Uma Conrose wenyama bekamhlalise phansi. Manje
I wish you would be
Mfana, ibhola lethu is gonna suffer as long as we have these midfielders that are very good technically, ne? But we have not coached front lines that are able to play with the same technical finesse. Umar and Castillo are so great that if any of the 3 were collectors, because we were playing so deep, if any of the 3 were collectors, were able to play like on the half turn. What Foden did to Party yesterday is what I talk about. Players that can play on the half turn. Yabona ke mangithi half 10 bafethu ngikhuluma ngo-Eden Hazard mina. Those players ukuthi you press me on my back, you are losing. You are losing. It's that simple. It was so easy to get the ball from the front line of Kaizer Chiefs because they don't know what to do when they collect. akana idea yokuthi wenzani. They don't know what's behind them. They don't have a plan for their first touch. Okay, when I touch this ball, straight into the foot chief of Viro. Hey, Spani, that guy, what Trepper, you know, Multi Trepper me pass.
Yeah. Trepper
me pass. I wait up back to defend the ball. Yo,
Timberland.
When you talk about the half 10, what the Foden did is on. Foden, when it comes to his stature, he's like he's compact, he's tiny, so he's no the way I'll bump the ball.
No center of gravity,
yeah, that's the word I wanted to say.
But you know, you have 10 all about I'm a side mirror, Antoine.
Of course.
The most important thing once you find yourself in the middle, lama corner la this blind spot. Once I'm a blind spot work, there's no one who can touch you, Antoine. That's what I'm saying that if David Silva, no one could touch David Silva in the pocket, because by the time I play the ball, he's looked.
Is one of those players as well.
They've already seen which one go.
Yeah, it's because it's towards Spain. Like,
side mirror, bitch. You have to look at your pocket.
Yeah.
Like, Kevin is very guilty of not looking at his pocket. Kevin has a peripheral view, but if he go to check very often over his shoulder. He's not. He doesn't do that a lot. That's not his game. Yeah, his game is different.
Forward.
But, final third.
But I'm telling you, those Spanish guys, bro. Those Spanish guys, that team.
Remember no Cazorla. Cazorla.
And he has been killing team, those players that I've mentioned. If you win the ball of them, it's because you committed a foul. One winning ball of any of those guys, you've committed a foul somewhere.
Let's
just don't have trouble with because you're an English player who made the tackle and because you have Premier League. But
let's talk about committing fouls. How did he survive? Not even a year.
So are we switching topics now? Because I feel.
No. We're just but it's fine. We're still on. We haven't spoken about Sundowns. I'm worried that we haven't spoken about Sundowns.
Yeah, let's wait because park that Sihle end because that's we'll continue. Yes, again, your Sundowns, the team and Shisayo. Ushasha is back on even though he paid.
Yeah. So now for me, I watched that game, fun, and I'm so disappointed in Jima because he shouldn't be nervous, Jima. For someone who has an experience in PSL, he shouldn't be nervous in that situation. If Paul tate pump, Jima from la kutu pay player paying Paula. It's nerves. It's just you play a first game against Sundowns. It's not nice probably playing a first game against Sundowns, especially under lights. And with Friday night football is back on I wouldn't expect it from him. What's even worse was the number 10 Mncube should never have gone and done whatever he was doing there. He takes a bad first touch. He reads it. He's frustrated because I told you ball. He has our number 10, but he ball and he kind of and what he did was terrible to get that red card. And your team's already one down. You go and you shoot yourself in the foot and you send them back into the ring. Coach. If ball uzolibona January. Coach. Coach. Now stop. Ungatrainer from August. Uzotrainer August. Uzothola intwana ku MDC lokuthi ni match finish January kuba ngathi signing edge. Lapho you'll be so hungry for football. Yeah. In January you'll be so hungry to play football. You'll never do that ever again in your career. And if you
15 minutes
and if you don't, that's terrible.
Penalty
what?
And then red card.
No, what that guy did was disgusting. What guy did is I'm coach when January first na result we are close to January. Mina now so when uzobungadlalanga ball okusalayo mangixosha January. But when uzobungadlalanga ball uzalana coach omusha.
And the Sundowns was not convincing.
Yeah.
No, they were.
They were not convincing. They are going through the motions now.
Yeah, the first 15 minutes, I thought you would know they're running away with this.
Yeah. Also, they play very risky. Like Urulani unama experiment awazamayo. Mbone defense bekashia 2. I was like, okay, this
Stan,
is
you
different.
mean dear Stan?
Ushia 2 manje. Ushani midfield ye 4. There's as wide.
He's too
Pusha
petty.
lo uyi-1 babe yi-3 ku-midfield kushuthi i-6-3-1 kahle kahle uma uyibheka leya system yini i-2-3-5 he changed the system around and then he overloads the box ngaleyo ndlela. I was like, okay, this is interesting, but if you're playing against a counter-attacking team, bashaya ball win, they kick it to the sides.
That won't work against double Pirates and other teams who can get at you if you open that many spaces, because he's very Pep-ish, Rolani, and sometimes it pays off, sometimes it's very risky. There was times where I think Bigla Lubusa, Bigla Upufil.
Yeah.
Because I know Bigla no Rivaldo. And Rivaldo had a good start to the game, but then when his legs started giving up because of that thing from stones of getting into the midfield, joining.
I don't understand that.
And also they were forcing Mukwena up high. And Mukwena doesn't want to be that high. Mukwena wants to be boxed. He wants to be able to have that freedom. But now he was much higher up the pitch.
Why not just play Rivaldo as a midfielder if you want him to be that high? And he's shown capability in that role. Because it confused me. Wamdlala emuva uRivaldo instead of umdlala midfield asale as a pivot upushe lezinye I join a defense for that shape that they were playing. I join a layer 3 adlala midfield. It's much simpler.
But it took a lot. It took a lot of what Sundowns is good, and everyone knows what Sundowns is good is their fullbacks. They have their best fullbacks in the league. Sundowns, even the ones who are sitting on the bench, they had so many good fullbacks. They even let Lake leave. That's how good. And now in that game, Utsola Muda, for me player of the season last year, Muda was tucked in next to centre back, and also left back. Was also tucked in go left back, and then it was 3, and then Gube Rivaldo, Gube Mukwena, and then Gube those South American 2 guys in the 2-8s, and then Gube
up front.
Ushalulile, Neskipa Sava up front. So what they were doing, it wasn't connecting. I think there was a lot of new players as well that was just creating a bit of question mark. I think the close of my Lula was also a bit weird-ish for them because Mama Fagumayema, because they tried to stabilize much better in second half of Fagumayema to try to sort of have that same familiar look of Pumos and the South American guys. But for me, not convincing. Of course, the first game of the season. But results are results. First game, you want to go and you get your results. Then you build from there.
100%. At least Bona they won. I was about to even say, for them to not be convincing and still get 3 points in Ghana, it's impressive. Whereas Tinabanya ngapha, we were not impressive.
So we didn't get out of the end, right?
Yeah, by the way, let's go Orkant. Bafetha sibambeni play ni fly SAA yazin CNI Orkanti. Of course the Gunners. We'll start with you, Cheese. I know but we clap back and we were neutrals.
I wasn't a neutral.
No, you're neutral. You don't support Arsenal or City, dog.
On the day, I just wanted to see my 2 signings, which is Ukai Havertz and Kovacic. That's what I wanted to see.
Yeah, but
I can safely say we've weakened both teams. But anyway, go on, Cheese.
Okay. Please. Yes, dog. Koba ashisagaje mfethu. Hey.
Odegaard beyangawazi ukumaka wabukovacic.
Kovacic, especially at ball carrying. I think Kovacic is the best ball carrier in the Premier League.
Yeah, he's really good, man.
He's really good at ball carrying, and that's the sort of midfielder that Man United need. Maris Money Mounts, but fair. Jeez. Let's start off with you, Doc, since we team
Yeah, so again, third year in a row we didn't win the Community Shield. Guess for me, Community Shield normally comes at a very indifferent time for Man City because I know it takes us a while to get started as a team.
Yeah.
We normally take quite a bit of time to get into the rhythm, and Pep always speaks about the rhythm, and people never understand what they mean about rhythm. But the way we play, you need to have that rhythm. Everyone needs to understand we're trying to get the touches on the ball, we're trying to move the opponent around, we're trying to create spaces for our 8s or 8/10s to get into those pockets to head our opponents, and we want to get our wide guys pinning their fullbacks and creating that space between the center backs and the fullbacks because of that. Now, we obviously started a bit slower today because, well, not today, yesterday, because we were playing 2 strikers as opposed to 2 pivots. So it was more of a 4-4-2, and we wanted it to be that same thing where John Stones can join in, but it wasn't working because Kovacic isn't used to being that advanced in the pitch. You're still thinking with I'm still Chelsea, I'm still second last man at the back. And with Stones coming in, it gives you a bit more freedom to go, which is why Rodri was scoring goals last season. And which is why we need Kovacic to start growing into that role himself. I think we had. I'm a big fan of Julian Alvarez. He had a great game. He's always pressing. He's always a problem. Like with the center back, you don't want strikers in general. It's always pressing, looking for those balls. And even when you feel to breathe or relax or fully pass, this guy's pressing you. And it's nice. It's nice to watch. Then there's a few niggles, of course, that I think the team is carrying into this game in terms of who's leaving, who's staying, and that's always a problem with City because every season we're trying to refresh and we're also not trying to overspend money. And also we're trying to keep guys happy who are important. But if you win a Champions League, that means you have a lot of good players who other teams would love to have in their team as well. So it creates that little of a problem with us. And I think once the transfer windows close and things are a bit more relaxed, it's better because Pep knows what he's working with. He knows who's playing with position, and he knows how he's going to get the best out of the team. And then they added 1 million hours at the end of the game, so it was like added time until Arsenal score, and then Arsenal scored, and then they ended the game. So,
but just on the point, not to labor the point, but like there's talks, the transfer window must close before the season starts, before the first game of the season. There's question marks around certain players 2 weeks into, because 2 weeks you've already played how many games? 4 games. And you understand the level. They must just end before them.
So you're telling me you'd want it to end without you guys signing Caicedo?
Well, no.
Relax.
Exactly. Talking about next season.
Like even last season, Isak came in, just up the season, and was monumental for Newcastle. Yeah,
so
exactly.
Let me speak on Arsenal.
Enzo. Yeah, you guys are screwed. You guys will then need to break another 100 mil to get someone at that point in time who's going to be cover for him.
Exactly.
Yeah, but anyway, let me speak on the Arsenal because I was more interested in Arsenal more than City. I think the City everyone knows the City is a complete article. When it comes to a coach that has bedded down the system, I understand that's Pep. Okay, but my focus was more on Arteta and how his side is. Well, number one, that Timber boy baller. He's decent. Nyambona going places. Number two, Kai Havertz had a better game than Haaland is all. Okay, but that doesn't mean Haaland is a stink of a game. No Jack. No. Jack. What's his name? The 100 million.
That's not a great measuring stick. If someone has a shit game, it's a terrible measuring stick. If someone has a shit game and you measure him by someone with a shit game, that's a terrible measuring stick.
No, that's why I had a precursor in that. It doesn't mean which he's going to have a better season. I don't know.
Compare him to Alvarez. No, how good was him compared to Alvarez then?
But they deploy to do two different things. End of the day, but the ask from Ateta to Ukai was hold up, and he did that brilliantly. The one thing that I see Arsenal struggling with is how much time the fans are willing to give Ukai before they realize Gutu flop. But anyway,
bro, those guys are patient, bro. Those guys are
very patient.
And
they're very patient.
I need to worry about
and then who's a Belgian boy that scored?
Trossard.
Hey, Trossard, I think he needs to start more games.
Yeah, I agree.
Present Trossard, like he's a threat. I get to
but who doesn't play? Who then doesn't play?
Martinelli.
And there's one person who you can't say Martinelli. But if you watch the Arsenal what documentary thing, you must see how Arteta speaks about Martinelli, bro. He's one of the untouchables in that family. Napumusaka. The only problem Musaka now say because it's English.
Yeah.
But Martinelli, you must see how he speaks about Martinelli, bro. You must see how that guy speaks about Martinelli. The only problem with that Martinelli is very, very isolated, man. Because it's so quick and all that. On the left hand side, he's so isolated without Zinchenko.
Yeah, and then Onke.
I also think that was an adjustment Arteta made in the second half, where he was inverting Timber to provide support for Martinelli and try to pull Walker no Orlando, no Rodri towards the central zone with Martinelli no Rice. But Rice would then lag Asale Mova in line with the defense. So that was basically making Rodri much more simple because Rodri only needed to pick up Timber. Timber gives Martinelli. He's one-on-one with Walker. No one wins that. So it's a horrible situation for him to be in.
What do you guys think?
Kyle Walker is one of those 1%ers at his position. He's not going to be playing against Kyle Walker every single week. So he will dominate the position. So I'm not worried too much about Martinelli. My concern is Declan. Declan Rice is going to struggle in this team because Declan Rice is used to playing passive football at his position. He's not used to playing on a team that demands possession, that wants to play football in control. And he's not a controller.
He also got lost. He got lost a couple of times, thinking Usase West Ham, this thing of sitting in the middle. Arsenal, the ask is not that. The ask is for him to.
Yeah.
Uchaka last season was a box entry guy. Upati would remain in the pivot. Zinchenko I'm joining, and then Uchaka would be in line. This is exactly how Pep plays. He would be in line with Odegaard, basically, in the half space channels. In so doing, he's freeing up the wingers, Usaka, no Martinelli, so that they can have one-on-ones, they can have cut-ins, and they can have options for through pass. And that's what made Arsenal creative and very dangerous. And everyone could score because you are creating in multiple ways. City, for example, was struggling because Alvarez and Kovacic don't have the understanding as yet. Kovacic was supposed to play in line with Alvarez so that Haaland is free alone with the defense at Arsenal. And then they are pulling basically because Pep plays 2-10s and it Uzodlala Kevin no Gundogan as his 2-10s and then play Stones and Rodri as his defensive midfielders. when they're in possession. So you have a box shape in midfield. If your 10s push high, you have two people that can recover the ball quickly. A bad recycler, and that's how you get those shots, those recoveries. Rodri was getting loose balls throughout the season last year just from doing that. Arsenal tries to play the exact same way. Partey was getting loose balls from playing that exact system. So I think Timber is their best signing so far because his understanding for as a left back, as an inverter, he was a better midfielder than Rice. Is all.
Yeah.
And once Rice left, Arsenal got more control of the game, which was telling on its own.
Yeah. But to be fair, also at that point, Onke, they literally played all the attacking players. Arsenal at the last 15, they played all the attacking players they had on their bench. To change that.
They do have quite attacking midfielders.
Yeah, and I think the plan, right? And then I guess that's why the problem is with playing Havertz because he's not clinical. The plan is with Declan Rice, you have the option to win the ball much high up the pitch. If we're playing, I mean, Arsenal is going to be playing much higher up the pitch. It's a team that keeps possession, so we are going to keep a lot of possession, right? So when we lose it, we want Declan Rice to be the one who wins that ball and to get that ball to our front guys to either score or for himself to score. He doesn't have that ability, but the concept is if he's so high up the pitch, he wins the ball, gets it to those guys, gets it to Odegaard, the guys who can make the things happen. But it's gonna take a while, especially if you don't have someone who's clinical. And Jesus and Akaya are not clinical.
They're not.
If it wasn't for Martinelli, Saka, and Odegaard contributing so many goals last season, they would have found themselves in a big problem. And I think with Havertz, it's still going to find themselves in a problem.
Yeah, people forget Nketiah as well. Nketiah, when we returned after World Cup, he was also carrying that load of goal scoring. He had that goal scoring period where he had like 5 goals in 5 games or something like that.
Yeah.
Where he was scoring continuously. So they need Havertz to be a scorer as well, because in games where your wingers are more creative than scoring threats, you need your finisher to be a finisher, to finish those chances. He was getting his chances in the 16-yard box. You understand? Yeah. All you need to do is to pick a direction and place the ball there. But we know Havertz, Tinage, personally. And we know.
What I'm reading on e-signing City. What you guys are interested in the Japanese Brighton boy Mitoni?
Kaoru, yeah, but we won't sign Kaoru. It's rumors.
They won't sign Kaoru. They need a right winger.
Yeah. What about Opama? Because I thought Palmer had a,
Okolu game time, man. Okolu game time. And we can't promise him game time, man. We can promise him that he'll get minutes. He always gets minutes, right? But we can't promise him like which is a starter. It's a big ask for Cole to start. But Cole, whenever he comes on in the FA Cup or he comes on in the Carabao Cup, always good. 7 out of 10. He does the simple things well. I mean, he also the reason why he's who he is, and I think that's why Pep made sure that happened, is that he's been learning from Mahrez. He's been training with Mahrez most of the time, learning from Mahrez, grooming, and you can see the way he plays and the way he moves on the wings, which he knows what he's doing. And also he's a left-footed guy who can play on both sides. Because sometimes he plays on the left, sometimes he plays on the right. Ideally, Opama isn't a winger as well. He's a 10. No Foden actually. I'm a 10. We have a lot of 10s. No, James McAtee is as well 10. So a lot of our players are those sort of players who are being molded into different positions.
I think if you were to get Pep will groom that boy to be something else, because technically he's there and he's gifted and he's quick. He's unpredictable. Utate a manager like Pep who's going to mold him. He's going to be something else. First touch.
Mitoma is almost complete as a player.
Yeah, Pep, he knows Utu Roberto. That's one of his best players. He won't go after that. He wouldn't want to weaken another team for that.
Yeah, and no one is trying to go for him as well. Like I was expecting teams like about United, because United is on the wing. Because United has a lot of players up front, but none of them have actual roles. Like Usancho, false nine, manje. They are thin on the wings. Anthony is a horrible winger. He can't create for anyone's business.
He can't beat a
Mitoma
man.
Would easily be the best player on United's team in terms of home forwards. Wow. Garnacho, for me, I feel as though he is more
He's raw,
but he's more of the style of winger Man United should have. The directness he has.
Direct, yeah.
He's very direct.
Little club player. We have little club players and all these guys who are promising. Alejandro Garnacho is someone who needs to be nurtured, the right coaching, the right grooming. Eventually, maybe we play simple kanjani but uzobona man. So next season, ngokuthi Garnacho mele ahambe urini. Ubani le out Sweden. Ilanga. Benpis now ilanga.
No, but I've been saying what I've been saying though.
David James.
Guys.
David James. Daniel James, yes. I don't want Bissaka. I'm a player improving for it's like I don't know because Crystal Palace and stuff.
One Man United player that seems to be improving is Maguire. Apparently West Ham have put in a 30 mil bid for him.
Yeah, Onke did say before you guys joined. Hey, mfethu ngathi angavalo umuntu loyo ntanga namfina na ku Chiefs.
Don't try mistake to
yo, Gazi. Yo, dog, this guy, but fits, and the media protects him, guys. Yo, you don't understand.
So,
about talk sports.
Imagine his mental health.
Speaking about the media, tell me, guys, if Declan Rice was a black guy, and he had the performance he had, is all. What would the headline be?
Question marks. Yeah.
First of all, he'd be playing for Crystal Palace because he'd be a black Englishman. So he wouldn't be playing for Arsenal. So no one would care. I mean, if there was any other player, in fact, if there was any other player that isn't English, in fact, as well.
That much.
Yeah.
But gents, also let's talk about Urodri. Urodri agaphuma na ne yellow card day-1.
Actually 2 minutes.
Yeah, but I want to know a case. So Urodri is not that kind of a person. It's very hard to send off someone who's not that malicious.
Person.
Me no Casemiro. Asa channeling. Nam kairo. Channeling. Casemiro na yellow card. Next one yapun.
Yeah, when you say he's not that type of person, you remind me.
Masa topi pola da. Masa hamba topi pola da. Namkai yellow.
But I remember the time Uber came in with a 2-footed stats showing tackle, and then the commentator was very quick to say he's not that kind of player. But it should have been a red. That's exactly how you sound like right now.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm Tonyana, Utenile, I'm Tonyana. Oh, parts if it did the same, Ufodin goal.
Yeah, see, Ulento, Ukante, we watched him every week. Ukante would kick someone, get up, just not even look at the ref, just throw away, because he doesn't have the temperament. Abo Lento have the temperament that comes along with the way that they play. Even Declan Rice wouldn't get a card for such fouls, because the nature of being a midfielder is you have to break up play. And breaking up play is taking fouls. Jorginho did it all the time. I'm a tactical foul. We recover. It helps. So I understand. It's just Ufenandinho did this all the time now.
Every kid when he look out.
Yeah.
Fernandinho bekumlotsholile card etunnelini ke. Makangene game everything. Kuye Otamendi, all of those guys.
Yeah. I know, but it's almost time. Next, celebo man, 20 seconds. Yeah, but hey, no, thank you so much. I know there's a lot more we could have discussed, Van Dijk, but as you know, ESCOM is hating on us as per usual. But yeah, no, thank you so much.
Signing Caicedo this week.
Are they for how much? Live. For 200? For how much?
We are going live when we sign Caicedo.
No stress. No stress. I mean, I'm game. I know. So thanks, Deba Fit. Guys, please like, comment.
We are also linked to Tyler Adams.
The American beats guy.
Yeah.
All right. I know chance to song, can I?
Sure.
Voila.
Don't forget to